Hey guys, so I play basketball at a public park a lot, and I was kind of inspired to make this video. And there's not just Asians at this park, there's every ethnicity that goes there. Black, white, Indian, Hispanic, pretty much every single race you can think of. And if you've ever been to a public basketball park, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say there's a lot of racist jokes that goes on there. And for some reason, most of them are targeted towards the Asians. For example, when we're picking teams, they'll point at me and say, hey, give me Jeremy Lin over there. And obviously I don't look like him, it's just the fact that I'm playing basketball and I'm Asian. And there's two ways that I could easily take that. I could either act really offended and say, damn bro, that's racist. Or I could just make a joke out of it and make it seem like it's not a big deal, which is what I usually do. And it works. Or another example, if I were to pass the ball and it got stolen, I wouldn't be surprised if one of my teammates said, hey, come on, you gotta open your eyes, bro. Because Asians have small eyes, right? Or even if they were to pass the ball and it got stolen by another Asian on the other team, they would say something like, oh my bad, I thought you were the Jeremy Lin on my team, all you Asians look alike. Because we all look exactly the same, right? Or even sometimes when they ask me the score. Hey, yo, Jeremy Lin, what's the score? And I'd be like, I'm not sure. What? I thought all you Asians were supposed to be good at math. Well, no, but actually I think the score is 7 to, what? Nothing, that's the score, 00 to 7. Oh, you mean it's 0 to 7? No, it's 00 to 7, 2 O's. What? 007. Sad part is I actually said that joke at the park once, and the reaction is probably the same as you guys. You know, nobody laughed. Anyway, this is probably another unpopular opinion that I should keep to myself, but I'm not going to. But I'm just gonna be completely honest with you guys. I personally do not get offended by Asian stereotypes anymore. Because if you really think about it, stereotypes, not just Asian stereotypes, but all stereotypes from other ethnicities are somewhat based off of truth. And rather than getting offended by them and trying to deny it, I think it's a lot better if we were to accept the stereotypes so that we can break through them instead. Now, before all my fellow Asian people attack me for this opinion, just think about it. I know that most Asian stereotypes are hugely over-exaggerated, and they definitely don't apply to everyone, but in general, stereotypes come from some truth, and that's why they shouldn't be offensive to you. Like, for example, when I say Asian stereotypes, I know one of the first things that come to mind when you look at me is that, oh, he's Asian, and we all know the stereotype for Asians is that he has a little, well, Sony or Yamaha or some other kind of type of Asian stereo. And you're absolutely right, I have a little Sony stereo right here. My point is, to all my fellow Asians out there, I used to be one of those people that got insulted by Asian stereotypes, and I used to deny that they weren't true. But the thing is, that's never gonna work. Asian stereotypes aren't going anywhere because they are based off of truth. Rather than being offended and trying to deny stereotypes, I say just own it and prove people wrong. Don't give them the satisfaction of being insulted. For example, one of the most common Asian stereotypes is that all Asians have squinty eyes. Obviously, it's an exaggeration and it doesn't apply to every Asian, but statistically, it's true. Asians have smaller eyes. It's not even an insult to me. In fact, it's better to have small eyes. We can get away with falling asleep in class, and if a professor or teacher were to tell us to wake up and open our eyes, we can say, well, that's kind of racist, sir. Okay, that was kind of an insult, but I'm Asian, so I can. Another common Asian stereotype is that all Asians are good at math. Now, I don't even know why Asian people get offended by this one. It's a compliment. And again, I know this stereotype doesn't apply to everyone. I mean, I can name 5 Asians off the top of my head that aren't good at math. Sean, Greg, Derek, me. But for the most part, it's true. Statistically, most Asians around the world are good at math. I think you guys pretty much get the point, but I'm gonna name a few more. Asians have poor English. Yeah, a lot of Asians do. But for those people, it's because English is their second language. If English were their first language, they would sound just like me. And I'm gooder than most non-Asian people, my English is, that is. All Asians are bad at sports. Oh, all Asians are bad at sports? Try saying that to Jeremy Lin. He's so good at Dota, you don't even know. Asians only eat rice. Okay, this one is a little racist because it's not true at all. We also eat the noodle. All Asians know martial arts. No, not all Asians know martial arts, but most martial arts are from Asia. Even if that's not true for everyone, why wouldn't you want people to know that? That's cool. Kung Fu, Karate, Kendo, Judo, Aikido. I can understand why that's a stereotype. Asians have bad teeth. Okay, this one is an insult because teeth are supposedly beauty. And basically you're saying if Asians have bad teeth, they're not beautiful. I mean, but let's be real for a second. You can't really get offended by this. About 50% of all the Asian kids I knew had braces. The other half were either really lucky or they still do need braces. Again, don't get offended by it. Just own it. Yeah, I got messed up teeth, but I can get braces. What you gonna do about your face? Okay, you don't want to say that, but that was just an example. All Asians are Chinese. No, just because somebody's Asian, it doesn't mean they're Chinese. That's like assuming all white people are Irish or German or some other type of white. And just for the record, because I know this is gonna come up in the comments, I'm Japanese, which is completely different from Chinese. Like Jeremy Lin, he's Chinese. Do I look anything like that? No, I'm way buffer than he is. That's another stereotype. Asians aren't buff. Look at this. Huh? You see that mountain right there? You see these guns? You can't make fun of you if you make fun of yourself. I made a joke about it earlier, but one of the most common stereotypes that people use as an insult is that Asians have small, well, wieners. At least for me, I'm not afraid to admit it. I got a mini wiener right here. His name's Marley, and he's my miniature wiener dog, who's actually been sitting on my lap this whole time, right next to my little sausage. I believe they're called Smokies. I'm not sure why they're called that. Probably because they're so small and you have to hold it like a cigarette. Not that I would know how to hold a cigarette. I don't smoke, but that is how I hold my little penis. Penis isn't Dick, you know, my little dick. Dick isn't Richard. Richard isn't Richard Marx, one of my favorite pianists of all time. He's such an inspiration. I always keep a picture of him right in my left pocket next to my vagina. And last but not least, Asians can't drive. This is one of the few stereotypes that I have no idea where they came from. It's not statistically true. Personally, I'm not a bad driver. I only got into like 3 accidents so far and got pulled over maybe like 3 or 4 times for speeding and running red lights, stop signs, you know, the common things that everybody gets. Oh, and of course, the really common driving mistake that everyone does. You know when you put your arm around the passenger seat to help you look back because you're gonna reverse, and then when you press the gas, you realize you're still in drive, so you go forward. So again, I don't know where that stereotype comes from because it happens to everybody. Because even in basketball terms, Asians are great at driving. The best. I know I've been making fun of him this entire video, but Jeremy Lin is an excellent driver. I mean, all he does is drive, because we all know he is definitely not a shooter. Oh, Jeremy. Hey, I didn't know you were in here.
You don't think I can shoot?
What? No, I didn't.
Pretty sure you just said I can't shoot.
It was an obvious joke. Like,
give me the ball.
Where did that come from? Who passed that?
If I wasn't a shooter, could I do this? Oh, shoot. Hold on, 1 sec.
I could probably do that. Even after all that, you still can't make a single shot.
I can shoot.
So thank you guys again so much for watching. If you want to see bloopers and behind the scenes, click the one on the left. If you want to see the previous video, click the one on the right. And once again, thank you so much to Jeremy Lin for being in this video, and also for breaking down the stereotype that Asians can't play basketball. I mean, I can't play basketball. I mean, I can, I'm just not that good. Well, at least Jeremy's good in Dota and basketball. I'm not that good at Dota either.